Joining us now is David Drucker, senior correspondent for the Washington Examiner. Good to see you, David.
Good to see you, too.
So why do you think McCarthy was chosen? I mean, you've covered him, since his early days in the California Assembly. And in terms of temperament, what does he bring to the table?
Well, I think you're going to find a leader that listens a lot. And it's very clear to me that the Republicans lose a lot with Cantor's ouster. But what they're gaining in a new majority leader is somebody who's going to defer more to committee chairmen and I think listen more to the rank and file and defer in many respects to where they want to go. And ironically, even though McCarthy has been tagged as being less conservative in terms of his voting record than Eric Cantor, I think he might end up, because of this style, diffusing a lot of the pressure that has existed with the insurgent wing of the House Republicans and others who just felt like there was too much of a top-down approach from leadership and not enough of a bottom-up letting legislation come from the rank and file and get to the floor.
At the same time, you see in that soundbite we just showed that he's really trying to make an effort to say, look, I'm part of this group too, you know. I mean, I am conservative. I worked hard to come to this party. So what does his selection say? And based on his tone, what does it say about the current state of the GOP party?
Well, look, I think what you need to understand about McCarthy is that he's not a legacy leader. I mean, he's clearly self-made, and he came up winning leadership election after leadership election. He was elected the leader of the California State Assembly, the minority leader, right after his election. And while some of that was due to term limits and the fact that you didn't have longtime lawmakers in the legislature anymore, he knows how to cultivate relationships. He knows how to make friends. He understands the political terrain of every member's district. He understands what they care about. He understands what their voters care about. And I think in some ways what this says is if you want to be a leader in Congress, then you got to do the work. And Kevin McCarthy has spent a lot of time doing the work of getting to know his members, cultivating the relationships. And so when this thing came up, all of a sudden, he was ready to go, and he had the trust of his members, at least based on the candidate field.
Okay, so then let's talk about the Kevin McCarthy agenda, although I do get the sense that he's inclusive. But, you know, he's got to take a leadership role in this, even though he's only in this position for 12 legislative days. As a short-timer, will McCarthy structure his strategy in such a way to make a dramatic short-term impact, or will he pace his plan so that he is a viable option for a long-term leadership position in the national arena of the Republican Party?
I don't think he's looking at this like the 12 legislative days that we've been talking about. And in fact, given his political responsibilities to raise money and travel the country, helping Republicans maintain and from their point of view, hopefully grow their majority in the House, this is going to be a big job and a lot more than just 12 days. I think you've already seen his style, as he discussed on Fox News Sunday today, deferring to House Financial Services Chairman Jeb Hensarling and saying, let's let the EXIM, the Export-Import Bank, expire. That's something significant for a GOP leader. Speaker Boehner is still going to be a large influence over policy and politics. Kevin McCarthy's going to work with him.
Okay.
But as far as McCarthy's concerned, this is for the next 3 years.
We'll keep an eye on it. David Drucker, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, Thal,